Hey, hello. Long before Homo sapiens became the dominant human species on Earth, another species of human successfully survived in Europe and Asia for thousands of years. The Neanderthal, this remarkable species of human, which emerged around 400,000 years ago and disappeared from view around 30,000 years ago, has proven to be much more complex and human than previously thought. Thanks to archaeological and genetic research, we are now getting an increasingly richer picture of who they were, how they lived, and why they eventually disappeared. Neanderthals populated large parts of Europe and Western to Central Asia, from France and Germany to Israel and even Siberia. They were adapted to the harsh climate of the Pleistocene with a sturdy body and a large cranial capacity that was even slightly larger than that of modern humans. This points to developed cognitive abilities. They also showed signs of symbolic behavior. Jewelry made of shells and animal teeth have been found in some caves, as have pigments such as ochre. They may have used them for body decoration or art. Their tools are also impressive. The so-called Mysterian technique shows an advanced way of working stone specifically adapted to their needs. Hunting big game, mammoths, rhinoceroses, bison was often done in groups, which suggests cooperation and planning. Technically, Neanderthals were highly resourceful. They used flint and natural resin as glue to assemble tools. Their spears were often made of wood, stone, and plant glue, a form of prehistoric composite material. Most importantly, they could make their own fire, which gave them a huge survival advantage in cold climates. Their knowledge of woodworking is also evident in archaeological evidence of handles and simple structures. In the Brunico cave in France, researchers discovered circular formations of broken stalagmites dating back 175,000 years, possibly an early form of symbolic architecture. Neanderthal life was physically demanding. Many skeletons show signs of broken bones, wear, and arthritis, likely the result of intense hunting, physical labor, and cold conditions. But these traces also tell another story, care. Some severely injured individuals lived for years, suggesting that they were cared for by others. Their diet consisted mainly of meat, but dental plaque studies show that they also consumed plants and even fungi with medicinal properties, such as willow bark, which contains salicin, similar to aspirin. Interestingly, their teeth were also used as a third hand in processing materials. Neanderthals lived in a variety of environments, from dense forests to open steppe-like plains. They adapted to ice ages, followed migrating animals, and used caves for shelter. Although they appear to be less mobile than Homo sapiens, they were well adapted to cold, harsh conditions as far south as subarctic Siberia. When modern humans reached Europe, Neanderthals were already there. In some regions, such as France and the Middle East, they coexisted for thousands of years. There is evidence that the two species exchanged knowledge and symbolism. Tool technology and the use of pigments show striking similarities during this period. Genetically, the traces of that encounter are still present in us. Approximately 1 to 4% of the DNA of people of non-African descent comes from Neanderthals. These genes still influence our immune system, skin adaptation to cold, and possibly even our predisposition to conditions such as diabetes or depression. Neanderthals weren't just hunters and survivors. They were makers too. Symbols and handprints believed to be Neanderthals have been found in Spanish caves dating back more than 64,000 years. They used perforated shells, colored ochre, and animal bones with markings, possibly for decoration or ritual purposes. Some finds, such as mounted bear cranials or bird feather ornaments, suggest some form of spiritual experience or status display. The cultural capacities of Neanderthals are increasingly being taken seriously as archaeological evidence mounts. Thanks to modern techniques such as DNA analysis of bones and dental plaque, we've learned a lot. Caves such as Vindija in Croatia and Denisova in Siberia yielded exceptionally well-preserved genetic material, allowing scientists to map the entire Neanderthal genome. Cemeteries such as Shanidar, Iraq, show that Neanderthals may have buried their dead with care, and finds in El Sidrón, Spain, point to cannibalism, perhaps out of necessity for survival or as part of rituals. The disappearance of Neanderthals is no longer a mystery, but a complex story. The arrival of Homo sapiens with more efficient communication, flexible diets, and larger social networks brought stiff competition. On top of that came climate change and possibly infectious diseases introduced by modern humans. Neanderthals were scattered in small groups with fragile genetic diversity. Some models suggest that their total population was less than 10,000 by the end. Eventually, they partly merged genetically with Homo sapiens, but as a culture and species, they disappeared from the scene. The image of Neanderthals as primitive cave dwellers is outdated. They were resourceful, caring, creative, and adaptable people who thrived in a demanding world for hundreds of thousands of years. Their legacy lives on, not just in our DNA, but in our understanding of what it means to be human. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.